Okay, so what is the purpose of your book? It's something you need to have a really clear understanding of as you're beginning this journey, so that you know that this is the right thing. This is the right thing to be working on. And most people, when they write a book, they have a perception that they're trying to compete with the, the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and Tom Clancy and Dean Koontz, right? And they're trying to get that bestseller book, even as a nonfiction how-to. And so what they do is they follow the same formats that those books follow. I mean, I've seen several real estate books that as soon as you open them up, it has the foreword, it has the dedication, it has the full table of contents, it has all this other miscellaneous, copyright pages and all this stuff in it. And here's what I'm here to tell you is that you are not writing a book to become a #1 bestseller. You're just not. Look, if it ever happens, hallelujah, you'll be one of the first ones, okay? There's ways that you can make it happen. You can buy the #1 spot, but that is not our purpose. Our purpose is not to be a #1 bestseller. The purpose is to create a sales letter in print. It's that simple. We're creating a sales letter in print. And if you don't know what a sales letter is, go look up and go do a search for sales letters. What do they look like? And in the old days, they only came to you in the mail, right? So I remember I would get these sales letters that, it was a, 8 or 10 page, folded in half, brochure, if you will, that was selling me on a idea, on a topic, on an event, on a course or something like that. And I would say, gosh, I'd read through that because, well, that's what you did back then is you got the mail and you opened it and you read it. But now a lot of the sales letters are done online. And if you take a look at any of those sales letters, they don't have forewords in them. They don't have dedication pages. Look, I know you want to dedicate it to your baby girl or your son or your mother or somebody like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. And when we get into formatting, you're going to find out why. So keep in mind, as we're moving forward, the whole purpose of this is to create a sales letter that's in print to get somebody who gets that book to move forward with actions that you want them to take. Okay, just keep that in mind, because if you keep that in mind as you're writing, you'll go, oh yeah, that's kind of not something that would make somebody make a decision about something, right? But at the same time, we have to be subtle enough when we're not just, got 90 pages of buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, because they'll read through that in a second. You're trying to make a connection with those people and get them endeared to you, as well as establishing belief patterns. I'm going to talk about this a lot, belief patterns. You establishing the belief patterns that you want them to believe so that they'll take the actions that you want them to take. Okay? So this is the purpose. The whole purpose is to write a sales letter. Look, if you want to go and write a real estate novel later, after you learn this technique, after you started using your book and you start making money with it, then go right ahead. Please do. I'd be interested to see what that looks like. Because I don't know about you, but for my perspective and conversations that I've had with hundreds, if not thousands of people, even other agents and stuff, real estate is just not a sexy topic. Okay? Think about this. Excuse me. You have, with real estate, when it comes to the consumer, or I should say, there's two main people who will read your real estate book. Number one is the consumer, and with regard to the consumer, how long is their life cycle with interest into real estate topics? It's usually very short. It is, we're thinking about buying or selling until we either bought or sold. That's it. So what is that? It could be a few months, could be 6 months, maybe. Okay. I mean, yeah, so, sure, somebody's been thinking about buying for years, but until they are actually in that mode where they're actually moving forward on it, it's actually a pretty short window. But as soon as that activity ends, they vanish, right? I can't tell you how many people I've worked with that as soon as we closed escrow, and then you call them up and they're like, what? You're like, well, we were like pals. We were like buddies. We were like friends. We went and had drinks. We were hanging out. We ate together, and all this stuff. We were in each other's cars all the time. And now I call and you're like, what? Well, yeah, because guess what? I still am a salesperson, and they're probably, equating that. They got what they wanted, so now they don't have to continue to do that. Now, that doesn't mean relationships aren't established and maintained long term. But I'm just telling you from the interest perspective, right? The second person who's going to read your real estate book is another real estate agent. That's who's going to read your book, because they're looking at your book going, gosh, this person has a book. How, I need to get one of those. I need to get one of those, because they've been told the same thing, that having a book is really good for their business. Number one. Number two, having that it's hard to write, that it's expensive, that it's going to take life off of, years off of their life to be able to write this book. So again, if you keep in mind the whole purpose, the whole purpose of writing your book, your first book at least, is as a sales letter to get somebody to take action in what you want them to do. And that includes certain elements, including stories, and we talk about that as we get into layout and design. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Glad you're here.